Have you ever heard of VDI, or Virtual Desktop Infrastructure? It's the tech that powers remote work for literally millions of people. But how it really works? That gets misunderstood a lot. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the serious engineering that goes into a real enterprise VDI system. Okay, let's get into it.
And this right here, this is probably the biggest misconception out there. The idea that VDI is just some server humming away in a closet, running a few copies of Windows. That's a huge oversimplification. It's a nice, simple thought, but the reality is way more complex and honestly, a whole lot cooler.
So here's the main takeaway. We're not just talking about a handful of virtual machines. We are talking about a complete, multi-layered system. It's an entire ecosystem, right? And every single piece, compute, storage, networking, security, has to be carefully engineered to work together perfectly, securely, and at a massive scale.
To really get our heads around this, we're going to walk through the whole process step by step. We'll start with the foundation, then we'll add the intelligence, see how the desktops actually get created, lock down the perimeter, and wrap up with what I think is the most important lesson of all. All right, first things first, let's really move past that simple idea of just a few VMs and start digging into what's actually under the hood of a real enterprise-grade setup.
Before a single user can even think about logging in, you have to build the bedrock. This is the virtualization platform, and it's all about creating a super powerful and resilient environment that can handle anything you throw at it.
And this image lays it out perfectly. This is your starting point. You've got your physical servers, those are your ESXi hosts. You have your shared storage, which is where all the data lives, and then you have the vCenter server, which is basically the central command and control for this entire virtual world. So how do you actually build it? Well, you start by installing the hypervisor on your physical machines. Then you deploy vCenter so you can manage everything from one place. And this next part is absolutely crucial. You configure them into a high availability cluster. That means if one server fails, the desktops just automatically restart somewhere else. No drama. Finally, you hook it all up to some seriously fast shared storage. Okay, so we've got the muscle, now we need to add the brains. This next layer is where we install all the VDI-specific smarts and create the master blueprint that will be used for every single virtual desktop we deploy. So meet the connection server. I want you to think of this as the air traffic controller for the entire VDI system. When you try to log in, this is the thing that checks who you are, looks for an available desktop, and then connects you to it. Without this brain, nobody is going anywhere. And this shows the magic of what we call the golden image. See, instead of building hundreds of desktops one by one, can you imagine? You engineer one single, perfect, optimized master virtual machine. This is your blueprint for everything that comes next. And the process for creating it is meticulous. You install the operating system, you add a special piece of software called the Horizon Agent, that's how it talks to the brain, you optimize all the services to make it super fast, and then you seal it up as a read-only template.
All right, foundation is built, blueprint is ready, now we're ready for the really cool part, creating hundreds, maybe even thousands of desktops for our users, basically in an instant.
This is where the sheer efficiency of VDI just blows you away. It uses something called instant clone technology. So a fresh, perfect desktop is created from that golden image the second a user logs in. It's not just sitting around waiting, it's literally built on demand just for you.
Now, to make that happen, an admin creates something called a desktop pool. They basically just define the rules, right? They pick instant clone, they decide how much processing power and memory each desktop gets, where it's going to live, what it should be named, and most importantly, which groups of users from Active Directory actually get to use it. So we have all these desktops ready to go. But let's be real, in today's world, users aren't always in the office. They're everywhere. So this next piece of the puzzle is all about letting them connect securely, no matter where they are on the planet. And this piece of the architecture is absolutely non-negotiable. You can't just throw your internal network open to the internet. That would be insane. Instead, you build this secure, hardened gateway that acts as the single protected front door for all remote traffic. And securing that front door involves a whole bunch of layers. You deploy a special appliance, like the Unified Access Gateway. You lock it down with super strict firewall rules. You absolutely require multi-factor authentication, and you make sure every single bit of data flowing through is encrypted. Okay, let's walk through the whole journey. So there you are on your laptop at home. You open up the Horizon client. It connects to that secure gateway, where you prove who you are. That request gets passed internally to the connection server, our brain, which finds you an available desktop and patches you right through.
And this all happens in just a few seconds.
So we've seen all the tech, all the steps, all the components. But the real lesson here, the thing to really take away, isn't about the components themselves. It's about what this whole complex system actually makes possible.
And this is where you see the real payoff. Because everything is running back in the data center, your company's sensitive data never actually lives on someone's potentially lost or stolen laptop. The device you use to connect, it barely matters. It just has to show you the screen. And managing everything, patching, security updates, becomes incredibly simple and way more robust.
But here's the catch. Getting to enjoy all those benefits, it doesn't just happen. It's the direct result of careful, thoughtful, and really deliberate engineering. One bad calculation somewhere along the line can ruin the experience for thousands of people.
Yeah, success here means you have to get deep into the weeds. It's about calculating exactly how many users you can safely cram onto each server, making sure your storage can handle thousands of simultaneous requests, and planning for boot storms. That's when everyone tries to log on at 9 a.m. It's all about optimizing for a smooth, responsive feel.
And that really brings us to the most important takeaway of all. The goal was never, ever, just to create a bunch of virtual machines. The goal was to engineer a fast, secure, and totally reliable user experience that feels just like you're sitting at a physical desk, even if you're 1,000 miles away.
So the next time you look at any complex system, ask yourself this question. Was it just slapped together to work? Or was it truly engineered from the ground up to deliver a great experience? Because that difference, that's everything.